Hello, family. God bless you. We will pick up at chapter 30 of the second book of Enoch. On the third day, I commanded the earth to make grow great and fruitful trees, and hills, and seed to sow. And I planted paradise, and enclosed it, and placed armed guards in the form of my flaming angels. And in this way I created renewal. Then came evening, and morning came of the fourth day. On Wednesday, the fourth day, I commanded that there should be great lights on the heavenly circles. On the first uppermost circle, I placed the stars, Cronus, and on the second, Aphrodite, and on the third, Oris. On the fifth, Zeus. On the sixth, Hermes. On the seventh, Lesser the moon, and adorned it with the lesser stars. These are Greek names, so all that stuff is bourgeoisie. So I don't know if that's going to be accurate. And on the lower, I placed the sun for the illumination of day, and the moon and the stars for the illumination of night. The sun, that it should go according to each of the 12 constellations. And I appointed the succession of the mouths of their names and lives, their thundering, and how they mark the hours, and how they should proceed. Then evening came, and morning came of the fifth day. Remember, one day is 1,000 years. One of the Lord's days is 1,000 years. On Thursday, the fifth day, I commanded the sea that it should bring forth fishes and feathered birds of many varieties, and all animals creeping over the earth, going forth over the earth on 4 legs, and soaring in the air, of male and female sex, and every soul breathing the spirit of life. And there came evening, and there came morning of the sixth day. On Friday, the sixth day, I commanded my wisdom to create man from 7 consistent applications. 1, his flesh from the earth. 2, his blood from the dew. 3, his eyes from the sun. 4, his bones from the stone. 5, his intelligence from the swiftness of the angels and the cloud. 6, his veins and his hair from the grass of the earth. 7, his soul from my breath and from the wind. And I gave him 7 natures: to the flesh, hearing; the eyes for sight; to the soul, smell; the veins for touching; the blood for taste; the bones for endurance; to the intelligence, enjoyment. I created a saying from knowing. I created man from spiritual and from physical nature, From both come his death and life and appearance. He knows speech like some created thing. He is small in greatness and great in smallness. And I placed him on earth like a second angel to be honorable, great, and glorious. And I appointed him as a ruler to rule on the earth and to have my wisdom. And there was none like him on earth of all my existing creatures. And I appointed him a name from the four components, from east, from west, from south, and from north. And I appointed for him 4 special stars, and I called his name Adam, and showed him the 2 ways, the light and the darkness. And I told him, this is good, and that bad, so that I should learn whether he has love towards me or hatred, and so that it would be clear who in his race loves me. For I have seen his nature, but he has not seen his own nature. And therefore, by not seeing it, he will sin worse. And I said, after sin, is there nothing but death? And I put sleep into him, and he fell asleep. And I took from him a rib, and I created him a wife, so that death should come to him by his wife. And I took his last word and called her name Mother. That is to say, Eve. Chapter 31. Adam has life on earth, and I created a garden in Eden in the east, so that he should observe the testament and keep the command. I made the heavens open to him, so that he would see the angels singing the song of victory, and the light without shadow. And he was continuously in paradise. And the devil understood that I wanted to create another world, because Adam was Lord on earth, to rule and control it. The devil is the evil spirit of the lower places. He made himself a fugitive from the heavens as the devil, and his name was Satan. Thus he became different from the angels. But his nature did not change his intelligence as it applied to his understanding of righteous and sinful things. And he understood his condemnation and the sin that he had committed before. Therefore, he devised a thought against Adam, in which he entered and seduced Eve, but did not touch Adam. But I cursed ignorance. However, what I had blessed before, I did not curse. I did not curse man, nor the earth, nor other creatures. But I cursed man's evil results and his works. Chapter 32. I said to him, you are earth, and into the earth from where I took you, you shall go. And I will not destroy you, but send you back from where I took you. Then I can again receive you at my second presence. And I blessed all the creatures, both physical and spiritual. And Adam was 5.5 hours in paradise. And I blessed the seventh day, which is the Sabbath, on which he rested from all his works. Chapter 33. And I appointed the 8th day also, that the 8th day should be the first created after my work, and that the first 7 revolve in the form of the 7th thousand, and that at the beginning of the 8th thousand there should be a time of not counting, endless, with neither years nor months, nor weeks, nor days, nor hours. And now, Enoch, all that I have told you, all that you have understood, all that you have seen of heavenly things, all that you have seen on earth, all that I have written in books by my great wisdom, and all these things I have devised and created from the uppermost foundation to the lower and to the end. And there is no counselor nor inheritor to my creations. I am eternal unto myself, not made with hands and without change. My thought is my own counselor. My wisdom and my word creates, and my eyes observe how all things stand here and tremble with terror. If I turn away my face, then all things will be destroyed. Apply your mind, Enoch, and know him who is speaking to you, and take the books there, which you yourself have written. I give you Samuel, and Raguel. Samuel is Samuil, and Raguel is Raguil, who led you upward with the books. And go down to earth and tell your sons and all that I have told you, and all that you have seen, from the lower heaven up to my throne, and all the troops. For I created all forces, and there is none that resists me, and none that does not subject himself to me. For all subject themselves to my kingdom, and labor for my complete rule. Give them the books of the handwriting, and they will read them and will know that I am the creator of all things, and I will understand how there is no other God but me, and will understand how there is no other God but me. And let them distribute the books of your handwriting from children to children, generation to generation, nation to nation. And Enoch, I give you my intercessor, the archangel Michael, for the writings of your fathers, Adam, Seth, Enos, Canaan, Mahalalel, and Jared, your father. Chapter 34. They have rejected my commandments and my yoke. Therefore, worthless seed has come up, not fearing God. And they would not bow down to me, but have begun to bow down to empty gods, and rejected my unity, and have piled the whole earth up with lies, offenses, abominable lust with one another, and all manner of other unclean wickedness, which are disgusting to even mention. And therefore I will bring down a deluge upon the earth, and will destroy all men, and the whole earth will crumble together into great darkness. Chapter 35. You will see that from their seed shall arise another generation long afterward, but of them many will be full of very strong desires that are never satisfied. He who raises that generation shall reveal the books of your writings of your fathers to them. And he must point out the guardianship of the world to the faithful men and workers of my pleasure, who do not acknowledge my name in empty words. And they shall tell another generation, and those others who, having read, shall afterward be glorified more than the first. Chapter 36. Now, Enoch, I give you a period of 30 days to spend in your house, and tell your sons and all your household, so that all may hear from you what was spoken by my face, so that they may read and understand that there is no other God but me, and that they may always keep my commandments, and begin to read and absorb the books of your writings. And after 30 days, I shall send my angel for you, and he will take you from earth and from your sons and bring you to me. Chapter 37. And the Lord called upon one of the older angels who was terrible and menacing, and he placed him with me. He appeared white as snow, and his hands were like ice, having the appearance of great frost. And he froze my face, because I could not endure the terror of the Lord, just as it is not possible to endure a stove's fire, or the sun's heat, or the frost of the air. And the Lord said to me, Enoch, if your face is not frozen here, no man will be able to look at your face. Chapter 38. And the Lord said to those men who first led me up, let Enoch go down onto earth with you, and await him until the determined day. And by night they placed me on my bed. But Methuselah was expecting my return, and was keeping watch at my bed by day and night. And he was filled with awe when he heard my return. And I told him, let all my household come together, so that I may tell them everything. Chapter 39. O my children, my loved ones, hear the advice of your father, as much as is according to the Lord's will. I have been allowed to come to you today and preach to you, not from my lips, but from the Lord's lips, all that is now and was, and all that will be until judgment day, and all that will be until judgment day. For the Lord has allowed me to come to you so that you could hear the words of my lips. of a man made great for you. But I am one who has seen the Lord's face, and it was like iron made to glow from fire. It sends forth sparks and burns. You look upon my eyes now. They are the eyes of a man enlarged with meaning for you. Excuse me. But I have seen the Lord's eyes shining like the sun's rays and filling the eyes of man with awe. You see now, my children, the right hand of a man that helps you. But I have seen the Lord's right hand filling heaven as he helped me. You see the scope of my work is like your own. But I have seen the Lord's limitless and perfect scope, which has no end. You hear the words of my lips as I heard the words of the Lord, and they are like constant and great thunder with hurling of clouds. And now, my children, hear the lecture of the Father of the earth. I will tell you how fearful and awful it is to come before the face of the ruler of the earth, and how much more terrible and awful it is to come before the face of the ruler of heaven, who is the judge of the quick and the dead, and of the controller of the heavenly troops, who can endure that endless pain. Chapter 40. And now, my children, I know all things, for this is from the Lord's lips, and my eyes have seen this from beginning to end. I know all things, and have written all things in the books, the heavens and their end, and their abundance, and all the armies and their marching. I have measured and described the stars, the great innumerable multitude of them. What man has seen their revolutions and their entrances? For not even the angels see their number, but I have written all their names. And I measured the sun's circumference, and measured its rays, and counted the hours. I also wrote down all things that go over the earth. I have written the things that are nourished, and all seed sown and unsown, which the earth produces, and all plants, and every grass and every flower, and their sweet smells, and their names, and the dwelling places of the clouds, and their composition, and their wings, and how they carry rain and raindrops. And I investigated all things, and described the road of the thunder and of the lightning. And they showed me the keys to their guardians, their rise, and the way they proceed. They are let out gradually, in measure, by a chain. If they were not let out at a measured rate by a heavy chain, their violence would hurl down the angry clouds and destroy all things on earth. I described the treasure houses of the snow, and the storehouses of the cold and the frosty airs. And I observed the key holders of the seasons. He fills the clouds with them, and it does not exhaust the treasure houses. And I wrote down the resting places of the winds, and observed and saw how their key holders bear weighing scales and measures. First, They put them in one side of the weighing scale. Then in the other side, they placed the weights and let them out according to measure skillfully over the whole earth to keep the heavy winds from making the earth rock. And I measured out the whole earth, its mountains, and all hills, fields, trees, stones, rivers, all existing things I wrote down. The height from heaven to the height from earth to the seventh heaven, and downward to the very lowest hell, and the judgment place, and the very great open and weeping hell. And I saw how the prisoners are in pain, expecting the limitless judgment. And I wrote down all those being judged by the judge, and all their judgment and sentences and all their works. Thank you very much, family.